Hey guys, welcome home. Good to see you guys. Found it. Bring it in. Oh, man, good to see you guys. It's awesome to see you. We're gonna go ahead and we're just dive right on in because we got a lot to go through. And so what we're gonna be talking about is basically the word good. So I was the reason what brought this up is so I was listening and there was a person that said that they were talking about the the saying we always say, good and faithful servant. Um, and then they went on to explain that good means that like when when Lord puts something in your hands or He does something, you're not only just expected to do it, you're expected to do it well. That's the reason why they say good, meaning that you are to excel in what you are giving in possession of. You don't just do it. You are supposed to do it in excellence, basically. And so I wanted to go over that because that makes much more sense. For instance, God is good. We, as our English slash just we as a culture have completely diluted the meaning of good. Good really means nothing lacking. I mean, we say God is good. For instance, as it says in Mark 10:18, and Jesus said to him, "Why do you call me good? No one is good except God alone." Then we look at Psalms 34:8. "Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man who takes refuge in him." Psalms 145:8. "The Lord is good to all, and his mercy is over all that he has made." So God is good, and so God lacks nothing. God needs nothing, and so when it says good in the scriptures, it is, in lack of better terms, I guess it's like it's perfect. Not perfect. Yeah, it's perfect because it lacks nothing, needs nothing. It is good. So we have kind of diluted it, but it is something much more perfect. So we're going to go and we're going to dive right into the ones that say good and faithful servant, which is, first one is in Matthew 25. We're going to start in verse 14 and go all the way to 23. This is, of course, the parable of the talents. The Lord gives three servants a certain amount of talents. One we'll read, and the first two they do something with it. They are excellent in what they are given, and the third one hides it. And so the third one gets told, you worthless slave. Basically, he says, "I will judge you. You wicked servant," is what we call. So we're going ahead and we'll dive right in. This is a New King James, Matthew 25:14, and then so on. And then we're going to jump over to Luke, which is the other parable. So anyway, all right, we'll start right here. "For the kingdom of heaven is like a man traveling to a far country, who called his own servants and delivered his goods to them. And to one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and another 1, to each according to his own ability." So right there, it's first to his own ability. "And immediately he went on a journey. Then he who had received 5 talents went and traded." So he went off and traded, did work with him, and made another 5 talents. He doubled it. And likewise he who had received 2 gained 2 more. But he who had received 1 went and dug in the ground and hid his Lord's money. After a long time, the Lord of those servants came and settled accounts with them. So he who had received 5 talents came and brought 5 other talents, saying, 'Lord, you delivered to me 5 talents. Look, I have gained 5 more talents beside them.' His Lord said to him, 'Well done, good and faithful servant. You are faithful over a few things. I will make a ruler over many things. Enter into the joy of the Lord.'" That right there could be something to preach on anyway. Then he also who received 2 talents came and said, "Lord, you delivered me 2 talents. Look, I have gained 2 more talents beside them." And his Lord said to him, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few things. I will make you rulers over many things. Enter into the joy of your Lord." And so, real quick, what really shows, and this kind of little tiny rabbit trail, is that it didn't matter how much they were given. They were still, even though they were given little, and one of them maybe produced more than the other one, they still were given much. As it says, I'll just read it again. It said, so you've been faithful over a few things. I will make you rulers over many. Now, it doesn't say, of course, exactly how much, but both of them were given over many, even though they were both given a few comparatively. And then, of course, if you continue on, which I really suggest you do, the other one says, "I hid yours," and then he calls him a wicked servant. I really just wanted to point out, though, that they were good at what they were given. Even though one might have been given more, one was given maybe a little less, they both took what they had and were good at what they did to make extra, to make more, to not only further themselves, but to further their Lord. And then the Lord said, "Enter into the joy of your Lord," which is awesome. There's so much in there that is so good, which one day we will definitely dive into that. But we'll go ahead and we're going to jump into Luke 19 now. And this is, Luke 19, 16 through 19. We're going to skip a little bit. Now, this is the parable of the minas, which is it's Luke's version of what Matthew's version, story, parable thing is. That thing. Anyway, so we're going to start at 16. It says, "Then came the first servant, saying, 'Master, your minas has earned 10 minas.'" Just saying that you gave me 5, I gave you 5 more. I recommend you read all this because I might have even messed that up. But anyway, he's saying that he increased what he was given. And he said to him, "Well done, good servant." Again, good. "Because you are faithful in very little, have authority over 10 cities." Not only is it because you were faithful in very little, it was faithful just this little bit of money. You will be faithful in cities, entire cities. Phenomenal. The second one's saying, "Master, your minas have earned 5 minuses." He's added on. He's multiplied what he was given. "Likewise, he said to him, you also be over 5 cities." Now, of course, this one he differentiates the difference. However, still, from the little amount they were given, they are given much back. They very little have faithful in little, they gain a ton. I'm having trouble saying that, but anyway. So that's just, and then of course this one he says he hides in a handkerchief, and he calls him cursed. But now before we leave, because we're getting down to this, I want to just read this from actually this, which is like, so if you guys don't know what this is, it says the Interlining Bible. Now what this is, because it has Hebrew, Greek, English, this basically is like a direct translation. So in the New Testament, it has has Greek, and so it does rude. It has the direct translation from Greek, and then so it kind of puts it here on English. So it's sometimes a little bit rough because, languages, it's different. And so the New has Greek, and then the Old Testament it actually has Hebrew. So it has, it's just awesome. It's amazing. And so anyway, I want to read though what instead of servant, what the Greek translation really kind of says more or less. So this is back in Matthew, and I'll go ahead and back to Luke. But so in Matthew, it says again 25 and starting at 23, and his Lord said to him, "Well done, good and faithful slave. You were faithful over a few things, and I will set you over many. Enter into the joy of your Lord." And the one who received 2 talents coming up also said to him, "You delivered 2 talents to me. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents above them." His Lord said to him, "Well done, good and faithful slave. You were faithful over few things. I will set you over many. Rude again. I will set you over many things. Enter into the joy of your Lord. Awesome. So instead of servant, it says slave. Interesting. Well, let's see what Luke says real quick. So Luke says, and he said to him, well done, good slave, because you were faithful in a least thing. So this actually says a least thing, the minimal thing. I have authority over cities. Because you were faithful in the least of things, you are now over cities, probably the most important things. And the second came saying, Lord, your minus has made 5 minus. And he said to him also, and you be over 5 cities. So, of course, slaves have nothing. I mean, slaves are slaves, but yet here they use the term slave, and yet they are given power, they are given authority over much with the little bit. I really hope that that just lightens, puts a wow type moment